Now, the Black Widow film comes out, no problem. Scarlett Johansson on Thursday said there's a problem. The main issue is she claims this was supposed to have an exclusive theatrical release. That's what we agreed on. You know when this contract was signed? Movies are signed and planned maybe 2 years before they even come out. This was supposed to come out year 2020. They probably signed this in 2018, maybe even 2017. I don't think in that contract a streaming service provision is written in there. That's what I don't think. However, Disney proved to me that's not the case. We'll get to that in a second. So off of jump, I believe Scarlett Johansson here, and I believe what she says and she claims to be reading about an exclusive theatrical release is true. If that wasn't the case, I would want for Disney to tell me that that's not the case, and they never do. Very similar to Gina Carano. So I'm saying that at the beginning of this just to get that out the way so you know where I stand on it. Let's actually dissect everything. On Thursday, this becomes the news, and when Scarlett Johansson says that, we're left with like, okay, cool, this is a lawsuit. We will have a public freaking record of everything, so there won't be any secrets. Eventually, we'll know the whole truth. In the article from, was it Wall Street Journal, they say we reached out to Disney. There was no comment. What Disney did do was announce that Hawkeye's release date will be on November 24th. Do you know what that means to me? That means to me they were reached out for a comment and they're like, oh man, there's a story that's about to break. That's Marvel related. Cool. Let's throw out this Hawkeye news. That's how I interpreted that. And I wanted to put that in this video because I see you, Marvel. I see you, Disney. It turns out Marvel, Kevin Feige's Marvel, didn't even want this Disney Plus theatrical release. He wanted it to be exclusively to the theaters. When Robert Downey signed his 2008 Iron Man deal, I think there was like one extra sequel option that they took advantage of. And I want to say every contract since then, Robert Downey was getting a heap of money, like a percentage off of the box office. It turns out the Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, also had a deal like that. That's what she negotiated for this new Black Widow film. She was expecting to make more money. She was betting on it. Now, this film didn't make money. There's lots of valid excuses for why it didn't make what it made. It's sitting in the neighborhood of 300 million right now. I'm sure after this weekend, let's just give it 400 million is what it will reach. I didn't think it would be this low. I've been on The Widow. I've been on her stream, and I remember projecting, man, I can see 600 million box office. This is going to die at 400 million. Ant-Man and Wasp from 2018 made 630 million. So I understand that's maybe the low bar for a Marvel film. This one is turning out to be worse. It's a poor movie. You can say that she's not superhero. We can do the woman thing and say women heroes don't sell to certain audiences. We can blame Canadian movie theaters were closed during its opening weekend. We can look at minimum capacity movie theaters were a thing that hindered this box office success. We can say that releasing it on Disney Plus meant that people didn't go to the movie theaters and watched it on Disney Plus. And they said in the first weekend that $60 million was made using Disney Plus. So the people who paid $30. We can say that when people watched it on Disney Plus, they did it in groups. Hey, 10 people come over, let's watch the Black Widow film. These are valid excuses. There's password sharing when it comes to Disney Plus. And of course, the elephant in the room is the piracy. Piracy is high definition quality, like on Friday night. Let's not pretend that had nothing to do with this film. Uno momento. Sorry if you hear background noise. It's the fan from my laptop because it's really hot. A lot of the things I was just stating, these complaints surrounded around Disney Plus. That sparked all of this for the most part. And she has a valid criticism of it, especially when she was supposed to get a cut from that. This is what happened the day after. There is no merit whatsoever to this filing, Disney said in an unusually fiery statement. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. The company went on to state that the star already received $20 million for her work and argued that the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has received to date. Disney did not provide any further information about whether or not Johansson's pact was renegotiated so that she could share in the streaming rental revenue. That means that it wasn't. That means that all of the Disney Plus money stayed with Disney Plus. But let's look at the whole statement because there's a lot of things I got to unpack and tell you. When, what's her name? Gina Carano, you guys remember that statement? I'm the only guy on the internet who came on here and said she wasn't fired. The statement does not say she has been terminated, she's been fired, we let her go. It just simply made public her employment status. Gina Carano is not currently under contract with us. Plus, we hate racism. That's basically what they said. The first part was truly what they said. The second part I just ad-libbed. She wasn't fired, everybody. There was nothing written to make her be in Rangers of the New Republic. I'm sure maybe they had plans to feature her here and there, but they just decided, okay, people hate her. Well, they're saying cancel her. Let's take advantage of this and let's do that. Gina Carano was not fired one more time. Her contract was not terminated. They simply decided not to continue with the character and wanted you to think that they're this woke company. When I say woke, I mean it the proper way. This company that don't tolerate hatred. That's what they wanted you to think. So likewise, this is Disney. That was Lucasfilm's statement, but I guess they got the same guy here who wants you to know that, in the exact words, there's no merit whatsoever to this filing. Okay, tell me what I want to hear, because she's claiming it says exclusive theatrical release. When you say there's no merit, say, because there's no clause in there that says this has to be an exclusive theatrical release. Say that. That's what, if you're going to say anything, tell me that what she's saying is false. Just saying there's no merit, I'm sure you believe that, but tell me why there's no merit. Because you didn't, Disney, in your statement, because you never followed up the there's no merit with what she said was false, then I don't believe you, Disney. What you're saying is false. There's no merit to your statement. And then you'll see what they say after. Especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of COVID-19. That's weak. The pandemic has nothing to do with this. It's about contracts that were signed earlier and about honoring them. The emotional aspect of COVID-19 and trying to use that to your benefit is weak. The release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access has significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has received to date. What's that got to do with anything? She's going to get more money because of the Disney Plus Premier Access. Here's the box office results of the Black Widow film. We only made $320 million in total. They're saying Disney Plus introduced a brand new revenue stream. I'm saying that introduction costed them money at the box office. This is a film that expected to make $1 billion based on the pattern of the most recent maybe 5 Marvel films. They all made $1 billion. Spider-Man made $1 billion. Avengers Endgame. We have Captain Marvel. We have Infinity War and Black Panther. 5 out of 6, because Ant-Man and the Wasp made $630 million. So let's, even looking at $630 million, this is $320. This is even worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp. It might not even reach $400 million. Now, in the theaters, they make a big weekend on the first weekend, and then it's a 50% drop usually, and a 50% drop for the third weekend. For Disney Plus, they announced the first week. They said, we made $60 million on Disney Plus. And because we don't share a cut with the theaters, this $60 million is a strong $60 million. That's true. But was there a 50% drop the next weekend? No, they never announced, we made $30 million this weekend. They didn't say that. Why? Because unlike the theaters, you're at home. If you were going to watch this movie, you were going to order it on opening weekend. You weren't going to be like, okay, traffic. You weren't going to say, I got to get the kids together. I got to find the right time. It's your home. So the $60 million that they made is what I believe that is the most they made. They may have made like an extra $10 million since then. Let's give them 70. Now, if you add 70 million of the Disney Plus to this number, it's a $400 million film. Even lower than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Don't tell me you introduced a brand new revenue stream and given Scarlett Johansson more options if the option itself is costing her money, which is what her basis of her problem is. It's supposed to be an exclusive theatrical release. Tell me otherwise. You're not saying there's no merit because there's no theatrical release exclusivity written in that contract. When Disney said this, okay, cool. Scarlett Johansson has a really smart lawyer who fires back at them and basically says everything I'm thinking when he hits them back with, It's no secret that Disney is releasing films like Black Widow on Disney Plus to increase subscribers, thereby boosting the company's stock price. And it's hiding behind COVID-19 as a pretext to do so. John Berlinski, you are a smart man. But ignoring the contracts of the artists responsible for the success of its films in furtherance of this short-sighted strategy violates their rights, and we look forward to proving as much in court. You know why? Because it probably says so on the contract. This will surely not be the last case where Hollywood talent stands up to Disney. I see what you're saying there, and makes it clear that whatever the company may pretend, it has a legal obligation to honor its contracts. Enough said. That's all you got to say for me. I'm completely convinced that this guy has, or she, Scarlett, signed a contract that they are violating right now. There's nothing you can tell me otherwise. I truly believe it with all of my heart. This is the case. This is the way that it is. Open and shut case. There's really nothing more to bring to this. If there's a provision that says Disney Plus was featured in that contract and they have emergency procedures in place in that contract, Disney would have said so in their statement. It's not the case because they didn't say so. I just don't believe it. I didn't even see the contract. At this moment right now, Scarlett Johansson is totally in the right, and she's setting the precedent for a lot of these film. I think Cruella, what's her name? Emma Stone may have a bone to pick with her. Scarlett's right. So there's nothing she did try to promote this film, and she never played hardball. She waited, I guess, 2 weeks for the film to come out. She didn't want to affect its box office performance. Kevin Feige's not happy with this news, and he's kind of Team Scarlett. Hey, I don't know what to say other than that's my take on this whole situation. It's similar to Gina Carano's statement that Disney did for her. It's the same thing going on. That was the video, and this is the outro. I'm pleased to announce that I now have a Teespring store. Find the Chillmonger logo filled in, not filled in, or however you like it on the Teespring store. You can also find me on Patreon to support me at $1 US or 10. Thanks.